name is Roberto Nacarado on behalf of Elasto Proxy, and again, I'm joined here with my good friend and colleague, Mr. Steve Melito. Steve, how's it going, sir?
Hey, Rob, it's going great. Thanks for having me back.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you here, Steve. And it's a bit of a, I don't know, I know you're located in Massachusetts. I'm over here in Montreal, and right now the weather is it's a little cool over here versus what you guys are feeling over there in Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's been unseasonably warm, but I think we're going to be getting some of the same weather that you've been having, which is telling us that time is moving along. It's getting to be late summer. As much as we don't like to think about it, time flies.
So, Steve, another excellent blog this week on custom molded rubber products, and I'm just gonna get my share the screen from the uh, and I'll also share the link here at the bottom. You can see that's the link, and here is the blog over here. So custom molded rubber products, and you focused mainly on these five over here: rubber grommets, vibration mounts, rubber bumpers, custom silicone connectors, and rubber hose clamps. So we are going to go through them briefly, if that's okay with you.
Sounds great.
All right. So rubber grommets for wires and cables, Steve.
Okay, so rubber grommets for wires and cables are really pass throughs or feed throughs. And the reason that you'd use them is if you pass a wire or cable through, say, a metal panel, that wire or cable's got a jacket on it, right? It's usually plastic or some kind of a polymer. Well, that thing can get snagged on some of the metal. It gets put up and down and moved around. And if you want to prevent that type of damage from happening, you'd use a grommet. And they're typically shaped like rings or eyelets, but they can come in other shapes and sizes as well. We can do different types of rubber even if you need it.
All right, we'll go through anti-vibration mounts. One of the latest
Yeah,
products we can put a lot of focus on there, Steve, which is again, you did a great job on the anti-vibration mounts. But what can you tell us about that? I know we went through it already, but maybe repeat to the listeners out there.
sure. So we talked about this, I think, a couple of weeks ago. In anti-vibration mounts, they're a rubber to metal bonded product. The metal is usually a fastener. It's got threads. It's designed to be screwed into something, a piece of machinery, equipment, or a vehicle. And obviously, that metal piece is the attachment, and the rubber is the vibration absorber, really, because that's part of the properties of rubber is to be able to handle that energy that comes from vibrations. There's all sorts of applications for these. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I think I need some for here at home because I process honey and I've got a table. And when I hand crank the unit, the table goes back and forth. It vibrates wildly and hits the wall. So I think I need some anti vibration mounts here at home now. That's a
Absolutely not. I have my neighbor's neighbor who's been complaining on his AC unit because it's making a lot of vibration noise. I'm like, man, I think I know someone that has some vibration mounts that can help you with that.
That's right. And as we've talked about, vibration can be very damaging. That back and forth movement can weaken mechanical structures, cause a fastener somewhere else to come loose and potentially injure
Absolutely.
somebody. Makes a lot of noise. So Elasto Proxy can supply you with the anti-vibration mounts that you need. There's a lot of companies that are gasket fabricators. They're sort of a one-trick pony, but we're the one-stop shop where you can get the extruded gasket that's been even bonded together and ready to install, or the molded rubber products, I should say, and the molded rubber products. So you can get everything from one place.
I like how you put that, Steve. That's awesome. My favorite subject, rubber bumpers.
Rubber bumpers, yeah. So these are not the bumpers that you would have on your car at home. They look like what you see here on the screen in front of you, and they still perform the same function, which is to provide protection against low speed collisions and impacts. You'll find them on trucks, trailers. You'll also find them on loading docks because
Yep.
sometimes those trucks back up a little too closely, a little too quickly. Also on generator sets, you'll find them as well. We can do a lot of different types of rubber. The reason is sometimes they're exposed to different environments. If it's an outdoor bumper, EPDM might be a good choice for the weather resistance, the protection against UV and ozone. If you're using a bumper inside of a machine, maybe there's a chemical it comes into contact with. That's all part of what will come out when you talk to our solutions providers about what you need.
100%. And also, like we've also sold some bumpers for docks, like for the boats, like, and these are huge pieces of, like, these are massive chunks of actually they're thermoplastic and not even an EPDM. It's a TPE. It's so it's a plastic, well, plastic, let's say a thermoplastic elastomer. So yeah, it's like you said, the materials change depending on the application and what you can do with them.
They do. I think I remember talking about those. Are they available in different colors?
They're available in different colors. That's the advantage of TPE. So you can get them available in different colors. And also what we can do is we can actually even put an LED light in there to illuminate them at night. So you can actually get some of them that are a bit opaque so that you can actually illuminate them, illuminate your docks. So we've done some of those as well.
Wow, it's not
Yeah.
just about black rubber. There's TP
No,
in
it's
different
not
colors.
just black rubber. Steve, our
Exactly.
next one is, if I can get my mouse over here, custom silicone connectors and heavy trucks and EV. Again, you did a great job on this blog, and you have great resources on that page as well. But go ahead and I'll let you talk about them.
Yeah, I think for starters, if you're looking for custom silicone connectors, believe me, there's a lot more information on the Elasto Proxy website than this. There's a whole product category, lots of information about every different type. Very high level view right here. So what do you need to know? In diesel powered equipment, they're used to connect the intake pipes and tubes. They're also used in electric vehicles in the battery compartment where there's obviously high levels of heat and something has got to handle the coolant that is used. And silicone is a pretty amazing elastomer with its temperature resistance, a wide range, as well as heat aging. So that's where they're used as well. And I think we're going to see more of that to come in years to come.
Absolutely. And just touching quickly on silicone, still a bit of a sore subject out there with silicone, having a hard time, and not just Elasto products. It's a worldwide issue with silicone right now in terms of procuring it, and it's been tough. It has not been an easy year, let's say, for silicone rubber. It's still available, but it's expensive compared to what it used to be. So I just wanted to give a heads up on to everybody listening there. There is a massive price difference compared to even a year ago.
There sure is, and it's probably going to continue to be rough for a little while. So it's why it's important to really partner with a supplier, a provider that can make sure you can get what you need.
In advance, yes, because some silicones manufacturers, if I hate to say it out here, but some of them are up to even 32 weeks of lead time just because of the availability of it. So this is where planning now comes into play, forecasting comes into play, super important. But again, we have multiple suppliers that we deal with for our silicone rubber, but I want to be transparent that it's not 2 plus 2 as it once was.
For sure.
All right. Rubber hose clamps for industrial piping, Steve.
Yeah, so you've got to be able to connect or clamp those pipes, and rubber again is a good material to use because it can take some stress, it can flex a little bit, it can deal with some vibration. So you're going to find these really in the same applications, industrial machinery, vehicles, and equipment. Um, these clamps can come in different durometers, and durometer is a measure of hardness, and that's really something I think anybody that's going to specify a rubber product needs to know. It's one of those core terms, and we're certainly happy to explain that.
Awesome. So it's a quick rundown, sorry, of the products that Steve that you wrote about. So thank you again for that, Steve.
You're welcome. And these are just some of the custom molded rubber products that you can get from Elasto Proxy. There are others as well. For example, gas pedals.
Yes.
Because Elasto Proxy does so much in the heavy equipment industry, we can get whatever you need. So when you look at this blog entry, don't just say, oh, those are the 5 custom molded rubber parts. That's just some of what we can offer. I think there's some of the more popular ones, but ask because we can probably get it for you.
I think as long as you understand it's custom rubber molded parts. So again, anything that the engineers are designing or whatever your application needs, if you feel that it's thermoformed, sorry, injected molded, or even compression molded, we can definitely do as well. So just keep in mind on that.
And so, Rob, some of the value is the way that you can get these parts, right? Because you can get a box with a kit with everything that you would need.
Yeah, so you touched on that before, Steve, as we're a one-stop shop. So I know right now supply chain is still rough. It's not easy, especially for buyers, purchasing managers. So to be able to deal with instead of dealing with multiple suppliers, you can consolidate into a couple of suppliers or even one, and we're one of those that it's not just extrusions that we deal with or finished gaskets. We deal with a variety of products that we can be a one-stop shop. So the advantage here is that we can work with your forecasts. So we can create kits with extrusions, with finished gaskets, with cut lengths, and as well as include some of these rubber molded products as well, given the forecast, and we're able to manage your inventory at the same time. So you could increase your cash flow because instead of buying multiple months worth of products, you can still get that just in time. Let's say, even though most of the just in time, a lot of writing on that has been that just in time is no longer existent, but we could still manage with that just in time if we help out managing your inventory. So we can definitely work out with that.
And in an age of workforce challenges, that's a big plus too.
Huge, because just like you said, I think that's a great point, Steve. Just imagine a picker going around, being able to pick all these components, bring it to your production line, and especially in different sections of the production line, depending on where and how the parts are installed. We can kit it based on where these parts are being installed in the production line. So instead of, again, having multiple racks with multiple individual products, you can shrink your rack space down. You can have a box specific to the parts that need to be installed, and we can even kit it in the layers needed that it goes in the installation order. So that's one of our huge strengths, is being able to work directly with the OEMs or with manufacturers that are able to that need that type of service. So that's the advantage that we bring on.
Absolutely.
Awesome, Steve. Again, Mr. Steve Melito, always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you again.
Thank you, Rob. It's fun.
On behalf of Elasto Proxy, my name is Roberto Nacarado, and stay tuned to next week's blog. We'll be back again. Thank you again, everyone. Have a good one.